Now, to take this further, we have been joined by Peter Kuznick from Washington, D.C. He is a professor of history and director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at American University. Mr. Kuznick, thank you so much for joining us here on WION. I have two statements for you to start. The first statement says we will continue to make clear to the Houthis that they will bear the consequences if they do not stop their illegal attacks. Now, this was by the U.S. Defense Secretary. The second statement says our military operations will not stop unless Israel's aggression stops in Gaza. That was by the Houthi spokesperson. I want to ask you, West Asia is already in a volatile state. With statements like these, how is the near future looking?
It doesn't sound like there's going to be any resolution of this until there's a resolution of the Israeli assault on Gaza. And the Houthis are committed to defending the Palestinians, and the Americans are committed to defending the Israelis. And so that shipping is going to be targeted. There have been at least 45 attacks by the Houthis on international shipping. Some estimates place it well into the 50s. And the United States, we say that it's the US and Britain, but we don't really have confirmation that the British did any striking. The US, Eisenhower, was in the area, and they were hitting the Houthi targets with F-18 fighter jets. And so it's really mostly an American operation, although the British have been involved and that other countries are lending support, but they're not really involved in the shooting. So it's very much of an American operation right now.
Because nevertheless, we have a joint statement by US and United Kingdom. So we, of course, can't confirm who did the shooting, but it was a joint operation, fourth of its kind, actually. Mr. Kuznick, do you think that the situation in Red Sea is the most visible spillover of the war in Gaza?
Well, right now, the Iranian-backed militias in Syria and Iraq are very quiet. Since the strike on February 2nd, they've been pretty quiet. The situation with Hezbollah is always tense, and that can always erupt into another war front. But the main fighting now outside of Gaza is being carried out by the Houthis. So they are the cutting edge right now of the resistance against the Israeli war in Gaza right now. But they have a lot of international support, not so much for stopping the shipping, but for opposing the Israeli operation. The world community has been putting a lot of pressure on Israel to accept the ceasefire, a prolonged ceasefire, withdraw their forces from Gaza, and allow the humanitarian aid to get in there. The situation is pretty horrific for the people in Gaza. And those images are being shown all over the world, which has built up a lot of sympathy for the Palestinian people right now. So Israel is quite isolated.
All right. Mr. Kuznick, very quickly, do you think the situation in the Red Sea will not get any better unless the war stops in Gaza?
Absolutely. The Houthis have been at war for many, many years. They are not going to be intimidated. In fact, the more the U.S. and the British and their allies do to attack the Houthis, the more the Houthis are going to respond by increasing their attacks on the shipping. So already much of the shipping now goes around Africa,
right,
and it's increased the cost over 200%. As you mentioned before, 12% of global trade goes through the Red Sea, right, but 30% of all container traffic goes through the Red Sea. And over $1 trillion of overall trade goes through the Red Sea. So this is having a significant impact and greatly increasing the cost of certain goods that are being shipped.
All right, Mr. Kuznick, thank you so much for getting us all those updates and insights from Washington, D.C.
Thank you.